What if I told you that the most productive time for your garden isn't spring or summer, but actually winter? Most gardeners think the first snowfall means all the work stops until April. They lock up the shed, grab a cup of tea, and watch the snow pile up outside. But they are making a huge mistake, one that could cost them half their potential harvest. Today, we're going to bust that myth wide open. I'm going to show you 10 unexpected, yet incredibly important tasks you must do in the garden this winter. Get ready to be surprised, because after this video, your view of your frozen garden plot will change forever. Are you ready to learn the secrets 99% of gardeners never talk about? Let's clarify one crucial point right away. Winter isn't the dead season. It's the season of hidden potential. While nature rests on the surface, beneath the snow, and in the frozen soil, crucial processes are still ongoing. The cold, the snow, and the lack of foliage actually give us a unique opportunity to do things that are either impossible in summer or just much more difficult. Our job isn't to fight winter, it's to use it to our advantage. Don't think of winter as a pause, but as a strategic preparation stage. This is when you lay the foundation for a healthy garden, fertile soil, and your future bumper harvest. Those who understand this are always 2 steps ahead come spring. So, let's stop talking and start digging into the details. The first and most important thing you need to do this winter is manage your snow. Yes, you heard that right. Manage it. We usually think of snow as a nuisance, something we just need to shovel off the driveway and pathways. But for your plants, snow is the best natural duvet nature could possibly provide. A loose, airy snow cover is the perfect insulator. Under a layer of 30 to 50 centimetres of snow, the ground barely freezes, even when the outside temperature plummets to -30 degrees. The soil temperature right at the surface beneath that snowpack will hover close to 0 degrees Celsius. This is what saves the root systems of your perennials, berry bushes, and roses from freezing and winter kill. Furthermore, the resulting snowmelt in spring is the most precious source of moisture for plants emerging from dormancy. Therefore, our primary goal is to ensure the wind doesn't strip this valuable white resource away from our garden beds. How do we actually put this into practice? It's surprisingly simple. Our main objective is to keep the snow exactly where the garden needs it most. We need coverage primarily for beds with late autumn sowings, strawberry patches, and around the base of your established trees and shrubs. The most reliable method is setting up snow fences or barriers made from plywood, corrugated plastic, or polycarbonate on the windward side. Don't have fences. No sweat. Just lay down the branches left over from fall pruning, or use evergreen boughs. These materials act as effective snow traps. And perhaps most importantly, don't be afraid to grab a shovel after every snowfall. Move the snow from paths and empty areas and pile it onto your garden beds, under the black currant and gooseberry bushes, and around the trunks of your apples and pears. This simple habit will protect your plants from the harshest winter freezes. The second unexpected challenge we face is the active battle against rodents. While we are tucked away inside, a quiet drama is playing out right beneath the snowpack. Mice and voles don't hibernate. They tunnel extensively beneath the surface, constantly foraging for food. And their favourite meal in the dead of winter is the bark of young fruit trees. Apples, pears, and plums are especially vulnerable. Over the course of a single winter, a family of rodents can completely girdle the base of a young trunk, chewing right through the cambium, the crucial layer that transports vital nutrients. A tree that has been girdled will almost certainly die come spring. Therefore, believing that the trunk protection you put in place last fall is sufficient is a dangerous mistake. You absolutely have to keep up the rodent control throughout the entire winter. So what's the most effective method? The truth is, you need a comprehensive approach. First, after every heavy snowfall and subsequent thaw, make sure to thoroughly pack down the snow around the base of your trees. Create a dense, icy barrier, a ring about 1 metre wide, or 3 feet, around the trunk. Mice and voles simply can't tunnel through that compacted snow, so they won't be able to reach the delicate bark. It's an incredibly simple yet highly effective technique. Second, continue distributing poison bait, making sure it's placed in dedicated bait stations or under coverings to prevent it from getting buried or covered by snow. And third, if you only visit your property occasionally, utilize ultrasonic repellents. Their effectiveness actually increases during the quiet winter months. Remember this, just one quick check every 2 to 3 weeks can be the difference between losing and saving your young orchard or landscape. Let's move on to the third point, winter tree whitewashing. Many people might be surprised and ask, why? We already whitewashed everything in the fall. And that's true. Autumn whitewashing is essential for disinfection and protecting against pests. But winter whitewashing serves a completely different, yet equally crucial purpose. It protects trees specifically from sun scald and frost cracks. The most dangerous period for bark is late February and throughout March. By this time, the sun starts getting quite intense. The dark bark heats up drastically, reaching above freezing temperatures during the day, then rapidly chills down to severe sub-zero temperatures at night. These extreme temperature fluctuations cause the tissues in the bark to rupture, resulting in deep, vertical cracks known as frost cracks. These cracks are open gateways for disease and infection. To prevent this from happening, you need to protect the bark. White reflects the sun's rays, preventing the trunk from overheating. Therefore, if the autumn whitewash has washed away or flaked off, it's crucial to renew it. Choose a clear, windless day during a thaw when the air temperature is above freezing. These mild periods are often referred to as February windows. Carefully clean the trunk of any dead or loose bark using a wire brush, then apply a fresh coat of whitewash. It's best to use special acrylic-based formulas, as they are much more resistant to washing off. Pay special attention to the south and southwest sides of the trunk and the main scaffold branches. These areas typically suffer the most damage. This simple procedure will help keep your trees healthy and strong for years to come. The fourth thing winter is absolutely perfect for is detailed planning of your future garden. In the summer, when the season is in full swing, we constantly feel rushed. We plant everything hastily, often overlooking crucial gardening rules. But winter is the perfect strategic season. Settle into a comfy chair with a cup of tea, grab a sheet of paper or open a planning program on your computer, and let your creativity flow. Start by sketching out your plot, marking all the beds, greenhouses and flower patches. Then, recall exactly what grew where last year. This is critically important for implementing crop rotation, the golden rule of organic gardening. You simply cannot plant the same crop in the exact same spot multiple years in a row. Start mapping out your garden for the upcoming season. Figure out exactly where you'll put your tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots and beets. Make sure you consider their compatibility and specific sun requirements. While you're at it, maybe you should build a new raised bed. Or perhaps move your greenhouse or cold frame to a sunnier spot. Now is absolutely the time to figure these details out. Put together a shopping list of all the seeds you need. Go through your old seed packets and check their viability. Then, group the packets according to their recommended indoor starting dates. This level of careful planning will save you a ton of time and stress come spring, when every minute truly counts. You'll approach the new season fully prepared and armed with a clear plan of attack. Our fifth secret technique is seed stratification. It sounds complicated, but it's actually a simple process that mimics natural winter conditions. Many plants, especially perennials, trees, and shrubs, require a chilling period for successful germination. Seeds like lavender, columbine, delphinium, primrose, and many conifers and stone fruits simply won't germinate unless they've been chilled or tricked into thinking it's winter. Naturally, they fall to the ground in the autumn, overwinter under the snow, and finally sprout in the spring. We can easily recreate this exact process right at home. And winter is the perfect time to do this because you still have several months before spring planting begins. How do you actually stratify seeds? The easiest method is using your refrigerator. Mix the seeds with moist sand or vermiculite. Alternatively, you can simply place them between two damp cotton pads. Put this entire setup into a small container or a sealed plastic bag. Make sure you poke a few holes for ventilation and move it to the crisper drawer of your refrigerator. The ideal temperature range is consistent, usually between 2 and 4 degrees Celsius, or about 35 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Crucially, don't forget to label everything with the seed name and the starting date. Depending on the species, this chilling process can take anywhere from 1 to 3 months. Be sure to periodically check the substrate to ensure it remains moist. By the time spring arrives, your seeds will be perfectly primed for germination, ready to give you vigorous and uniform seedlings. The sixth project that will brighten up your winter is forcing fresh greens indoors. When it's snowing outside and garden fresh vegetables are still months away, you start craving something homegrown, fragrant, and bursting with vitamins, and you can absolutely make this happen right on your windowsill. Forcing is the process of growing greens from bulbs, root vegetables, or rhizomes that already contain a complete reserve of nutrients. This is much simpler than trying to grow something from seeds, and you will see results incredibly quickly. The most popular candidate for forcing is, of course, the common yellow onion. Simply place the onion bulb in a glass of water, and in just a week or two, you'll have fresh, savoury green onion tops ready for your next salad. But it's not just about onions. You can get fantastic greens for soups and main courses from root vegetables like parsley, celery, and beets. If you have any small root vegetables left over in your cellar or storage area, plant them in a pot so that the top of the root is just level with the soil surface. Place the pot on a bright windowsill and water lightly. In no time, they will sprout fresh, tender tops. Another great trick is to dig up the dormant root clumps of perennial onions, like chives or Siberian chives, allium, nutans. Even if they're buried under the snow, pot them up and they will quickly produce a generous crop too. This is a fantastic way to get a needed dose of fresh, living vitamins and bring the feeling of spring indoors without ever leaving your house. Our seventh point, aimed at the most forward-thinking gardeners, is preparing scions for spring grafting. Winter, specifically the period from December through March when trees are in deep dormancy, is the perfect time to harvest your fruit tree cuttings. During this window, the branches have their maximum reserves of stored nutrients, and importantly, the buds have not yet begun to swell or break dormancy. Scions collected during the winter months are far more successful when used for spring grafting. This is your opportunity to propagate a favourite variety of apple, pear, or plum, or even create a single tree that yields multiple different varieties. How do you properly harvest grafting scions? Start by selecting a healthy, heavy-fruiting tree. The best material for this are 1-year-old growths, smooth, straight shoots that develop during the most recent growing season. You can easily spot them by their lighter bark. Using sharp pruning shears, cut the scions to a length of 30 to 40 centimetres. Ideally, select shoots from the south side of the canopy, as these are typically the most vigorous and sun-exposed. Once cut, gather the scions into a bundle, attach a clear tag, labelling the variety name, and wrap them tightly first in a damp cloth, and then in a plastic bag. You must store these cuttings somewhere cold. Good options include burying them in a snowdrift, keeping them in a cool cellar, or placing them in a refrigerator at a temperature near 0 degrees Celsius. By spring, you will have pristine prime material ready for grafting. The eighth task, which is not obvious but incredibly useful, is soil analysis. In the summer, we tend to think we know everything there is to know about our ground, but our assumptions are often completely wrong. We might spend years applying the wrong fertilizers and then wonder why the harvest is so disappointing. Winter is the perfect, unhurried time to conduct a proper laboratory test. Even if the soil is frozen solid, you can still collect samples using a long auger or a metal probe. If it's not frozen, then it's even simpler. Take samples from different areas of your garden, from the greenhouse, the potato beds, or even from beneath the apple tree. Mix them all together thoroughly and select a composite sample. So, what should you do next? You can start by picking up a simple soil test kit from your local garden centre. These kits usually check for pH levels and the primary macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. That alone will give you plenty of useful information. For example, if the pH is too low, meaning the soil is too acidic, you'll know you need to apply lime or dolomitic lime in the spring. Or you could take things a step further and send a sample off to an agricultural testing lab for a complete analysis. This is surprisingly inexpensive, but it will provide you with a comprehensive, detailed picture of your soil composition. You will know exactly what nutrients are missing. Armed with this data, you can create a precise feeding and fertilization plan for the entire growing season, meaning you can stop guessing and start gardening smarter. Task 9 might sound dull, but it will save you a ton of cash and stress come springtime. We're talking about the inventory, repair, and prep of all your garden gear. Think back to spring when you're rushing to find your essential tools, only to discover your pruners are rusty, or you spend 20 minutes yanking the cord on a stubborn, uncooperative string trimmer. Winter is the perfect stress-free time to calmly and methodically get all your tools shipshape. Pull every item out of the shed: your shovels, rakes, hoes, pruners, saws, and tillers. Use a stiff wire brush to scrub off all the caked-on dirt and rust. Sharpen the blades on your pruners, saws, and the mower deck. Finally, lubricate all moving parts with a quality machine or penetrating oil. Inspect the handles of your shovels and rakes. If you find any cracks, it's time to replace them. Sand them down thoroughly and apply a coat of linseed oil or varnish. This prevents them from drying out, cracking, and, most importantly, giving you splinters. Give your garden hoses a good inspection for any cracks or sharp kinks. Check your wheelbarrow and repair it if needed. Pay special attention to your power tools. Service your trimmer, tiller, and lawn mower. Clean the filters and change the oil. When the April gardening rush hits, you'll be incredibly grateful for taking the time to prepare this winter. Your equipment will be in full fighting shape. And finally, here is the 10th and most advanced project for those of you who want to jumpstart your garden and get the earliest harvest possible. This is building your warm raised beds right in the middle of winter. Yes, this is entirely possible. A warm bed is essentially a contained compost pile or compost heap, and as the organic material breaks down, it releases heat and simultaneously feeds the plants. In the spring, the soil in these beds warms up significantly faster, allowing you to plant your seedlings 2 or even 3 weeks earlier than usual. And winter is the absolute perfect time to lay the foundation for a bed like this. After all, you probably have a huge amount of organic waste materials just waiting to be used. First, you need to set up the frame for your raised bed, right on top of the snow. Line the bottom with a layer of coarse branches, the ones you pruned or cut last fall. These will act as your drainage. The next layer should be any organic material you have: kitchen scraps, excluding meat and grease, old leaves, weed-free garden debris, paper or cardboard. You can sprinkle each layer with snow. In the spring, this meltwater will provide the essential moisture needed to kickstart the decomposition process, which generates heat. Throughout the winter, you can gradually continue filling the bed. By spring, you'll have a nearly complete compost lasagna. All that's left is to top it off with a final layer of fertile soil, and you'll be ready to plant your most heat-loving crops. An early bumper crop of cucumbers or tomatoes is guaranteed. So, let's wrap things up. As you can see, winter in the garden is far from downtime. It's a time for smart, strategic work. The kind of work that isn't obvious at first glance, but pays off hugely. We covered how to turn snow into a protective blanket, how to wage war against garden pests, why whitewashing trees in February matters, and how to plan your dream garden right from your living room. We learned how to wake up seeds, grow fresh greens on the windowsill, and even build hotbeds right on top of the snowdrifts. Every single one of these 10 steps is an investment in your future harvest, giving you a serious head start over those who only start rushing around in the spring. Now, your snowy plot isn't just a landscape outside your window, it's a site for exciting and productive activity. Thank you so much for sticking with the video until the very end. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future gardening secrets. And now, I have a question for you. What unexpected winter gardening tasks do you do? Share your tricks and experience in the comments below. Let's learn from each other.